Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to my YouTube channel. This remains Grateful Value Mama, your favorite YouTuber. I don't know if this is a good intro, but then hope you guys are fine. It's been a while. So today we want to be talking about the part 2 of questions couples ask, or questions couples should ask during courtship, or questions couples should ask before getting into marriage proper. So if you are if you're a new subscriber, this is me saying welcome to my YouTube channel. I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming around here. Don't forget to click the subscribe button below. Please do that for me. Thank you so much. So if you're a returning subscriber, you know how the thing goes. You just know how the thing goes soft. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your support, your love and everything. So today we have a very spicy topic to discuss, and as usual I'm not gonna spare you guys any bits of the topic. So let's get into this video, and before that I hope this video is going to be short because the last one was long and man, it was almost boring. But I know you got one or two, so let's start right away. So the last time we talked about the four important topics you should discuss before marriage, and 4 important questions. So today I'm going to just be reading them out. I'm not going to be going into details in discussing or in listing out the topics and explaining them like I did in the previous videos. I'm going to just list them out, and then you feel free to discuss them on your own terms with your fiance or fiancé. Don't forget, this is a Christian YouTube channel where I'm not just talking based on what I want to say or based on what is the popular opinion. I'm talking based on as Christians who are trying to build their marriage on a solid foundation, where do we go from and how do we start from, right? The Bible said if you want to build a house, you have to sit down and count the cost before you go ahead to know whether you can build it or not. So it's the same thing with this whole marriage journey, Christian journey. You have to sit down and count the cost by asking the questions for you to know whether you can continue or not. You mustn't build that house. But guys, I wish you guys success. So let's get into this video proper. I'm not going to say it again. So the next thing is one topic you're going to discuss or question you're going to ask is number 1 for this video, because it's like a part 2. Remember, what's his opinion about quiet time? What's his opinion about quiet time, right? So as Christians, we know that most times quiet time is something that we don't skip if you want to grow. So not everybody knows this, so try to understand his or her opinion about quiet time. Under that, we talk about family altars. What do you want your quiet time or your morning devotion to be like? Should it just be in the morning, in the night? What's the duration with children? Do you guys hope to have a quiet time, first of all, private personal devotion before meeting out with the children, or do you want it to just be your personal quiet time, you and your husband, like when you get married and then you go out to have devotion with the children? What's the duration of time? Now your personal prayers. Talk about your personal prayers. He should talk about his personal prayers, vice versa. Talk about your personal prayers. Do you have a particular day in a week when you pray and all that? Then the next thing, fasting and prayers. Yes, because most times the conjugal rights of a couple could be affected during fasting and prayer. So it's very important. If you are someone that have always had a time for fasting and prayer, discuss it and tell them this is my personal day for fasting and prayers. Then do you want us to have days for fasting and prayers as a couple? Night vigil. Some people grew up with a family that do vigil every day. So discuss, do you want us to be doing vigil maybe every once in a month or something like that? These answers must not be positive. Discuss it and hear his opinion. Discuss it and hear her opinion. Personal studies. Do you want to have time for your personal life studies? When is it going to be? Tell him about yours. Why he tells you about hers. Why he tells you about his. Guys. Then the next thing is childbearing and training. I think we're going to do a different video for a different series for this particular topic, because a lot of persons have said a lot of things about it. There are a lot of minds about or surrounding this topic, and I think I want us to talk about it in detail. So when it gets to the sex word under this topic, I'm just going to touch it lightly, and then I'm going to bring up another video to discuss the extent that we can discuss sex in courtship. Yeah. So under childbearing and child training, you discuss the number of children you want to have, age spacing. Don't assume he knows because people talked about this while you are still friends. No, discuss it officially so that tomorrow when something happens and you're like, no, we want more, you can say this is the limit we set. Okay, we can make this compromise. That's where compromise comes in. After you guys have reached an agreement, compromise can come in, or compromise can come in before the agreement. Number of children. What's the age spacing? Do you want this one to senior this one with 2 years? Do you want to wait after every 2 years or after every 5 years, or just want to give birth all of them at once? However, family planning, if you want to give have 2 years planning or 2 years spacing, what family planning method do you want to use? I'm going to come to that as a medical personnel, right? It is my obligation to educate you guys on the different type of family planning method you can use as couples, but you can also read up about it. Discuss it. What type of family planning method do you want to use as a family? Then, do you want to take in immediately? It's important. When do you want to start giving birth to children? Have that discussion so that when people start asking you, are you vomiting? What is in your belly? You tell them whether it's food, or you don't get pressured by people's opinion after your wedding. Then you talk about school for children. What type of school do you want your children to attend? Public school or private school? Discuss it. Yeah. Ask questions around it. Cost of education. What level of investment are you willing to invest in your children's education? Remember, don't go with your own ideology and impose it on each other, or be open to discussion. Work, business, and education. Ask questions. What type of work do you think you would want to venture into in the future? Is there any particular thing that you're doing now that you know you're going to stop? Or type of job, future plans, you just talk about. Ask questions as regards, when do you want to retire from this particular job you're doing? When do you want to retire generally? What is the future investment plan? What particular investment do you want us to look forward to, a long-term investment as a family, or to make? You can ask questions. Ask questions as regards furthering of education. Are you furthering your education? Is he or she comfortable with you furthering your education? Find out his or her opinion about it, because it is very important. When couples come together and one person is all after furthering their education and the other person is not, it could cause a rift, an unnecessary show of insecurity, which is not supposed to be. So discuss these things before you continue. Next, in-laws. This is a topic on its own, guys. If you come on Facebook and you're seeing anonymous, I'm like, how does this thing even happen? But that's why you see it on social media, especially Facebook and Instagram. So ask questions as regards in-laws. What are your financial obligations to your siblings? First of all, you should discuss it. Ask that question individually. What are financial obligations to in-laws? Ask the questions in that regard to understand his or her perspective about in-laws. Living with in-laws, what is your perspective, or what is his perspective, or what is her perspective about living with an in-law? Do you think an in-law could live with us? My brother, my sister, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. What do you think about it? Not everybody is comfortable with it for personal reasons, so let it out and have that discussion. When do your mother or your uncle or your auntie or whoever is coming for Mugo in your tradition, when do they come for your Omugo? How long do they stay? Some mothers come and then they stay for a year and they start living permanently. So, and some ladies are not comfortable with it, some guys are not comfortable with it. But because it was just like, we just left it hanging, we left the discussion hanging, and that's how it happened, and we assume it's a normal thing. So have that discussion about in-laws. Talking about family to in-laws, ask questions about discussion, things you discuss, things that happen in your family you can discuss with in-laws. Remember, you jot down all these things when you discuss them. You just don't discuss them, you jot them down for tomorrow, for reference sake. You can always go through it and say, okay babe, this is what happened, this is what we discussed, because now you guys' mind are on a tabula rasa note. Nothing has come to cause any rift yet in that area. So tomorrow when there's a rift, you can have something to refer to. Do you understand? So discuss it. What can we talk to our in-laws about? What situations must we keep to ourselves? So that you know if it's a mommy boy or a mommy. Then the next thing you discuss is feeding, welfare, health, general housekeeping. Yes, so it is important to discuss this one, and some questions you can ask in this category are: in style, is this person more like an eat-at-home person? Is she more like an eat-at-home person, or does he prefer eating food outside? Is this person someone that prefers just stale food? Does she prefer stale food? Does he prefer stale food? And all that type of questions. By what time do you take your breakfast, lunch and dinner? Because you don't just plan a home, you plan a healthy home also. So if you've been living single, you've been living life anyhow, now you're supposed to do better. So when it's supposed to be the best time, you guys feed. If you have children, morning, afternoon and night meal, do you prefer 2 square meals or 3 meals daily? So that you would understand when things like this is going to help, so that when you come in and you just eat morning and night, there's no need to quarrel and all that. So is it 2 meals daily or 3 meals daily or 4 meal in between meals and all that? Who keeps money budgeted for food? Is it the spendthrift? Is she the spendthrift? Discuss this thing. Who is the one keeping the money? Who has to hold the money budgeted for food? Discuss these things way before time when you get into marriage, so that you don't bore yourselves with a lot of talks instead of enjoying your home or your marriage. Obviously, you still have these discussions in marriage, but then when you're prepared to an extent, you're more confident on the type of person you're getting into marriage with. How do we keep the house clean? Men and brethren, discuss it though. There are men that I've seen men that go all like, no, I don't clean the house. I might clean the house, but I don't sweep, I don't wash plates, I don't cook, I don't do anything. Some men are like, I don't cook, but I mustn't eat stale food. My food must be freshly prepared. And I'm like, what? Really? But then discuss it. Everybody's different, so it might not just be because of I don't like it. So discuss that. If it's someone that doesn't like stale food, is he ready to cook? Is he ready to cook when you're not ready or tired, or as a lady? Then as a guy, you should someone that is DJC, I don't want to cook, let's get the house help, or would you help me out in the kitchen, or stuff like that. So discuss it. Who does house chores? What house chores can you do best, and or can you help out in doing as a lady, as a guy? What place do you think, like where I and my husband were cutting, he was like, I can do this, but babe, for this one, God, it's going to be tough. I don't want to mention it because it wasn't anything serious. To me, I was like, we can always find a way around it, or we postpone it to somebody else, just wait to be done. That's the main thing. I can do it, it's not a big deal. So what are the areas I know that he can't do or she can't do? Can you cope with it if you're the one that is to do it every time? Where would there be a compromise? Where would the line be drawn? Would this person be willing to help you in the kitchen? Would this person be willing to help you with washing the car when necessary or when needs be? Or will this person be willing to do certain roles or certain duties, bath the children, dress them up for school? There are a lot of things that you have to bring up for discussion to know the type of person you're going into marriage with, not just gender. I mean, this is not just for a particular gender, so you know. Yeah, it's not just for a particular gender, although in some cultures, like basically Igbo culture, and I don't know, I think Yoruba culture too, the ladies were trained more to be around the kitchen and all that. Yeah, that's the culture. But then a lot of evolution has happened. Ladies go to work, men go to work, so most times it's the available person that does the job. But regardless of that, so many women still love to take charge of their kitchen. I do actually love to take charge of their kitchens. So are you that type of person? Is she that type of person? Get to discuss it and know their stand. Conditions for medical attention. There are some denominations that don't believe in medications, taking medications. Some persons feel like even it's just a personal thing sometimes. Some persons feel like there's no need for hospital till this thing happens, or nobody should take drug, we should live by faith. Discuss it though. I don't have strength for plenty wahala. Discuss it. Then understand or try to discuss how often do we buy clothes, shoes, stuff like that. Where would we get the money to buy clothes? Is it our personal money, or is it money we bring together to save as a couple? Then you talk about having of house helps. You can talk about having of house help. Is it allowed? Do we allow each other to, like, would we ever bring in a nanny into our home to help us raise our children, or to support us in training or in cleaning the house or stuff like that? Also ask questions around this. Then, and finally, settling conflicts and quarrels. What should be your priority? Talk about this. Ask questions. What should be your priority? Should your priority be the love for each other, stability of your home, or good example to children? So which of them should be your priority when settling crisis or conflict? Because it's a must. You guys would have little misunderstanding. It's possible in your home. So what would be your priority? Let both of you have this at the back of your mind. It would help you so that you don't lose guard because of emotional issues or out of your emotional state and focus on another thing which is not supposed to be, then what do you do in case of minor conflict? What do you do in case of major conflict? At what point do you bring in external factors to help resolve issues in your home? And who will these external persons or factors be? Pastor, friend, who are they? Spell it out, because you should know his friend, you should know her friend. So these are things that you should discuss. If you notice, I skipped the part of sex because I feel like we should discuss it in a different video, right? So I will do another video after this to kind of give room for me to talk about that. But then it's also very important to discuss sex. I don't want to be talking about saying the word because I don't want you to ban my video, so please pardon me. Or be saying, no, I don't want to be saying doing the do sex. I hope we're all matured here. So it's very important to discuss this. But then I had lots of issues during my time because I was scared of this topic. Don't judge me. I was scared of this topic. I was just nervous. How am I going to talk about it? How am I not going to talk about it? When is the right time to talk about it? I had to seek counsel from different people. My husband was so understanding. Take your time, baby, when you're comfortable, but we must talk about it. Do you get? So I learned a lot of things from asking questions and from reading books, which I'm going to share on this platform. Hopefully, the next video I'll be talking about when is the most appropriate time to discuss sex in courtship, and what is the limit, what is the extent we can discuss when we're talking about sex as Christian or godly couples to be. Thank you so much for staying through this video up to this time. You know, it means a lot to me that you sat down to watch this video up to this time, regardless of the fact that I know you got one value or the other. So don't forget to click the subscribe button if you've not subscribed. This is not easy, sitting down here to do video editing and all that. So support your girl, watch this video, share it to your friends, subscribe, like, comment, everything you know you can do to support me. I love it so much. New subscribers, you guys are the real deal. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to be going to from one channel to the other, subscribing. Right, it's not easy. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate and I remain value mama grateful. Do well to keep checking out my videos and my description box for that. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I love you.